Hi guys, it's me again, Clem from Wonder Words. Today I'm going to do a special video that I can do only once a year, and it's the top 10 of the books I read in 2016. So this year I read a lot of great books, I think I read only great books. I didn't read bad books or mad books, they were all good, but I had to pick 10 of them, so you're going to see which one I picked. I'm going to tell you in advance that there aren't any order for the books except the last three, who are definitely my three favorite one. I have a top three, and after all the rest of the book are all on the fourth spot. Really, I can decide between them. I just only have three that I have to mention specially. So the first book I'm going to mention is Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefwater. It's the third book in the Raven Circle Quartet. I read this one, the second one, and the last one, the Raven King, I think all last year. I'm sure for the last two, I'm not sure for the Dream Teeth, but still, I read this one and I completely enjoyed it. I also read the Raven King, but you see, and I loved it, but you see, this one is really my favorite because it's not the end, so it's not sad like the Raven King, because I was very sad for this series to finish, because I really love the character and the mood of the book and the world that Maggie Stiefwater created for this. And so I was sad when I finished it, but this one, it's not the end, but you can feel that everything is coming to a conclusion. They have all this clue, and there are so many things happening in this one. They also have some Gansy Blue moments that are absolutely marvelous. I died when I read them, and yeah. So it's definitely my favorite one in the series. The second book I'm going to mention is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I read this last September, I think, and it was absolutely magic. I already said what I'm going to say in the previous video, but I have to say it again. This is a really poetic book and very beautiful, and there are illustrations in it that makes it even more magical. It's really, again, a unique book. The story is really unique. It tells the story of a young boy, Connor, who has to face his mother's sickness. And every night there is a monster who is coming to see him and telling him story to help him face what's going to happen in the future, to help him face his situation with his mother and to kind of accept it. It's really sad, but at the same time it's really beautiful. It's a really, really beautiful story, and I absolutely enjoyed it, and it has to be on my top. And it has to be on my favorite book for this year. Then I'm going to mention a book from one of my favorite series. It's Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. It's the second book in the Miss Peregrine Home for Peculiar Children trilogy. I think that everyone knows about it now, especially since the movie came out, so even though you don't read books, you heard about it in some way. I read the whole trilogy last year. It was absolutely amazing, and I'm super happy to have finally picked up last year. And Hollow City is definitely my favorite one because I love what's happening in it. The shit is really going down, and you see so much more peculiar children in this one. It was so great to see all the peculiarity Ransom Riggs came up with. You could see totally how his imagination could work. It was absolutely amazing, and the ending of this book completely left me voiceless. When I finished the book, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to pick the last one, but it didn't come yet, so I had to wait. And yeah, and it's absolutely my favorite one, and I love this trilogy, and yeah, so it has to be on this list too. My dog is barking. I don't know if you can hear it, but she's really annoying because she's barking for a cat that's passing by in my garden. and it's probably one of my cats, so she already knows it. But no, she has to bark to say, oh my god, where is the cat? Now I'm going to mention a contemporary because it wouldn't be my favorite book of 2016 if there weren't at least one contemporary on this list. And the first one I'm going to mention is Everything Everything by Nicole Yoon. So I read this summer. I read it in one day. It was absolutely amazing. Like, I completely loved it. First, it was super fast, and I love when books and I love when books are can be read super fast because I like it. It's always more enjoyable. And the story behind this book is absolutely great. So it tells the story of Maddie, and Maddie is actually allergic to the word, like to everything. She can't get out of her room without getting sick, coughing, collapsing. Like, it's a total mess. She has to live in this very clean, all white home, and she only sees her mother and her nurse, and she can't leave her house. But one day there is this new guy who just moved next to her house, and they're starting to talk through internet and through stuff, and they are going to fall in love, and it's actually telling the story of this sort of impossible love because Maddie can't go outside, but he's outside, so it's a problem, and you are actually discovering a lot of stuff, and there is some sort of a plot twist at the end, like, and I was like, oh my gosh. I never thought this could happen in this book because it's really short, and yeah, but it was still amazing. I can't wait for the movie to come out, and yeah. Next I'm going to mention, I was going to say one of my favorite reads of the year, but of course it's one of my favorite reads of the year because it's on this list, and it's Illuminate by Jake Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. So it's the first book in the Illuminate files, I think it's a trilogy. Yeah, I think it's a trilogy. And it tells the story of, I think her name is Katie, just like in Mean Girls, and her boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend, I want to call him Ethan, Ezra. I was close, guy, I was close. And they're actually on these spaceships together, not actually the same, but on different spaceships, but they can communicate. Still, it's weird. And because their planet got destroyed, so they have to go away. And they're actually I don't really know how to explain this book because it's like a huge plot against the humanity, if I may say so. And yeah, it's a real good hot sci-fi book. It's happening in space, there are droids, there are spaceships battle just like in Star Wars. It's absolutely amazing, and there are all of this very computering stuff, language, in format, nerdy stuff that I actually love. And yeah, and this book is really unique because I've never seen a book like that. Most of the story is tell like a normal one, but a lot of time you have files, you have interviews, you have data from the spaceships, you have what else can you have? You have you are actually seeing the artificial intelligence that's speaking sometimes. It's really amazing, and I love it so much. I can't wait to pick Gemina soon because I need to know what's happening next. And yeah, so it has to be once again on this list because I totally enjoyed it, and yeah. The next book I'm going to mention is Six of Crows by Liv Bardugo. It's the first book in the Six of Crows duology. Once again, this book was very on trend this year, like everybody read it and it's absolutely amazing. I just started Crooked Kingdom and so far it's good. I mean, I read 20 pages, so it's good now. Nothing bad happened yet. I know I'm going to my heart's going to be broken soon, but for now it's good. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It took me time to get to this book because I had first started in, I think, something in March or in April, and I only read it in November, I think. So yeah, it took me a lot of time to get to it, but it was absolutely amazing. I loved it. So if you don't know what it's about, it's a fantasy book. Can I say it's a fantasy? Yeah, I'm going to say it's a fantasy. Yeah, they have magical power. So yeah, it's a fantasy book that happened in the Grisha world. Like, it's some sort of a following of a Grisha trilogy, also by Leif Bardugo. But here it tells the story of six outcasts, like they're really bad people or thieves or spies, and they all come together to go on this kind of journey to do this impossible heist, to take something that's very important for the future of the world, and they all come together to do it. And it's really interesting, and the characters are so unique. I feel like I said unique a lot of time in this book, but it really does. Like, Kaz is my little baby, and Inej, I love them so much. I love Jesper so much. I can't wait to read more about him in Crooked Kingdom. I love all of them. Like, they're really, each one has its peculiarity, and it's amazing. It's really, really a good series, and I'm so sad that it's only a duology, because I'm so attached to the character that it's going to be really hard for me to let them go at the end of Crooked Kingdom. And now the final books before I get to my top 3 books of the year. It's Uprooted by Naomi Novik. So if you've seen my video for the last 2 months, you know I'm obsessed I am with Uprooted, and how hard it has been for me to read this book. Not because it's not bad, it's not because it's not good, but because, I don't know, I was a slow reader for this one, and sometimes I didn't want to read at all, so I didn't really advance in this book. Like, I didn't read this book, but I finally finished it, and it was amazing. Like, I'm a little bit upset with myself for taking so much time to read this book, because it was amazing. It's a standalone fantasy, and we don't see a lot of this. It tells the story of Agnieszka, and in her village every 10 years there is some sort of a ripping between girls, and the girl who is ripped has to live, and the girl who is taken has to live for 10 years with the dragon, who is a magician that controls her part of the land. The part of the land she lived in, like a lord, and she's going with them, and she's discovering a lot of stuff there, like, because no one knew what the girl were doing for this 10 years, because when they left they weren't allowed to talk about it, and they went away. And actually the country, so Polnia, is attacked by something called the Wood, and it's really the Wood. The Wood are attacking the population. Like, it's growing up, it's swallowing all villages, like it's making all things black. It attacks people and make them go mad, like they really go mad, and they start from rotting from the inside. They lock people inside trees, and they don't really kill them. They just stay in the trees as in sort of a coma, but they go completely crazy when they go out, if they can go out, because the wood is actually killing everyone. And so you following Agnieszka and the dragon, who are actually trying to fight back the woods. But there are so many other things happening in this book. Like, it's epic. It's really an epic story, and it's amazing. There is magic, there is everything I love, so it has to be on this list. And now the top 3 of my favorite books I read this year. So on the 3rd place we find the conclusion to one of my favorite series, and it's The Last Star by Rick Yancey. So it's the last book in the 5th Wave trilogy. I think I will have to tell you what this trilogy is about, because it's been out for a while now and the movie came out, so I think a lot of people know about this book. I know that a lot of people don't like this book, like they don't like it, they don't like Rick Yancey writing, they don't like what's happening in it, but I don't agree with them. It's one of my favorite trilogy, it's one of my favorite book of this year. I cried when it was over, because it was over, but because also because of what's happening in the end. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was super sad when it ended. yeah. On the second place we have Everything Everything by Morgan Matson. It was my first Morgan Matson book and I really loved it. I read this summer and it was my favorite book of the summer. I'm going to reread it very soon because I really enjoyed it, and it's a contemporary, so I love that. And yeah, and I loved everything about it. Like, it's such a nappy read. Like, when I read it, I'm so, like, my mind is, all my problems go away. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's such, it calms me in some way, if I may say so. And it tells the story of Andy, and Andy is the senator of governor. Actually, she's the daughter of a politician, and she had the summer whole planned. Like, she knew she was going to go on this program and stuff like that. Everything was planned, but at the last minute, her father is has to face with a scandal, and so she has to stay at home. And it never happened to her. Like, every summer she's away, and so she's spending time with her friends. There is friends drama, there is love, there is everything, and she's becoming a dog walker for the holidays. So there is a lot of dogs, and it's absolutely magical. Like, it's happening in a whole summer, and it's really, really great. I can't wait to pick another Morgan Matson books because I think she's going to become one of my favorite authors. And on the first spot, I think everybody who knows me, who has watched the previous video, knows which book it is. And but if you don't, it's Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. Yeah. What can I say about this book that I haven't already said? It's probably becoming my favorite series by Cassandra Clare. Okay, don't get me wrong, I completely love the Morton Instrument. I really enjoyed the Infernal Devices. No, yeah, it's the right one. But this one is absolutely amazing. I love the characters. Like, Emma is my favorite characters. Like, I love the characters. I love Emma so much. I want to be like her so bad, and I love Julian. Julian is super precious to me. The relation between the two is, oh my god, breaking my heart a little bit each time, in a bad and in a good way. I love them so much. I love all the children there is in this book. I love everything that's happening. I love it so much. Like, it's definitely my favorite book of the year, and I can't wait to read Lord of Shadows, coming out in June. It's in May, and it's way too far. I can't wait. I need to see what's happening next because it breaks me. And with the girls, we are going to reread it in March, so I can't wait to do it because it means I can reread this really beautiful, amazing book, and yeah, I can't wait to do that. So yeah, favorite one of the year, yay! So yeah guys, that was my favorite books of 2016. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It's always great. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of us or more of me. Yeah, and if you read any of the books I mentioned, just leave a comment down below. If one of them are also on the favorite, and if one of them are also on your list of the favorite books of 2016, leave a comment down below. We can talk about it and become just like crazy people talking about books. And yeah, that was it, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!